My name is Justinas Badaras. I've been in fintech and payments for the last 8 or so years. The current company that I work with is called BankingLab, and it's an IT provider to financial companies. So we provide core banking software to fintechs, payment fintechs. Most often it's EMIs, electronic money institutions, sometimes PIs, payment institutions, sometimes banks. Yeah, and the current company, BankingLab, has been active since 2012. So already, not a startup. We have a client base of around 20 clients. A majority of them are licensed in the Europe's fintech haven, Lithuania. This year we're expanding to a new business branch, which is payment connectors, and it's a slightly different product because core banking is a full suite of IT powering fintech, and payment connectors is just any EMI bank can connect with a third-party payment provider using our tech. So that's it. The fintech industry is really my I wouldn't call it a passion, but a field that really interests me. I've been here for 8 years, and each day I still feel like a novice. It's so much stuff going on, so many buzzwords, but usually behind them, the concepts are quite straightforward.
Yeah, yeah, no, beautiful, beautiful. So we wanna, basically help founders, who are thinking about building a new neobank or new financial institution, EMI or something like that. Or actually, they have idea, they don't know what to do, right? And we want to help them to prioritize tasks, think about what they should do first, what to consider, etc. So if you think about this, if you were in the shoes of somebody, for example, like me, who I'm thinking about building a neobank, what would you tell me to do first?
Oh God, I would tell you, don't do it.
Yeah,
It's a blessing and a curse. I mean, it's a very powerful business, but it's a very, very difficult business. So banks are extremely heavily regulated. They need to follow very strict compliance procedures. The competition is huge, and a bank is also an umbrella word. There are very different banks. There are old school legacy banks, that focus on loans, mortgages, and whatnot. There are newer banks such as Revolut, Nubank, and all the other payment fintechs that mostly focus on payments. Yeah, so I think the basic idea, the ground zero brick is, what is your use case? Are you going to compete with Revolut? Are you going to be another lender? You can't do everything well. It's only companies that are extremely well funded, such as Revolut, that can do a lot of things. But even those giants, they don't do everything. Revolut, they're not massive in business lending. They've just entered personal financing. Yeah. So this is a key pillar. Knowing what you want to do. And I would say that it's maybe just 5% of the total work you have to put in, because the rest that follows is definitely not easier. So getting a bank license is extremely difficult. So it also depends. Like if you're launching a neobank, maybe you don't actually need a bank license for your business, because if you want to do payments only, there are other different models you can work with. So an EMI model is quite popular. It has been popular. Now it's still popular, but maybe less so. So it's essentially a license that gives you flexibility to do payments and a little bit more stringent on, taking client deposits, lending, and similar credit products. But you can do payments. And also there are models where you don't actually need a license per se. So you can use banking as a service, a white label agency agreement, basically running on the infrastructure of an existing licensed EMI or a bank. And there are a number of providers in the UK and in Europe that are doing it. This model has been, hit or miss. Regulators really put their foot on some of the bad players. You heard many cases about Rails Bank, Railsar, Solaris, Contes, but there are, good players around, like Banking Circle. They enable other fintechs to do banking as a service. Modular is still on the market, Bankera, Connect Pay. So they do embedded finance, banking as a service. Yeah, so it's a really complex task. Simon, let's dive into specifics because
No, let's stick with it. Definitely, it was super valuable. So, if we are talking about the licensing, banking as a service, EMI, payment institution, or bank, yeah, probably. I will not, as a first-time founder or build a bank, and probably I will use other people licenses, or maybe right now we can see the EMIs is probably the license that people will start with, or they will go banking as a service, right? What would you recommend, or what is the better actually? What is the difference between these two?
Okay, so it really depends on your budget. First of all, if I'm a one-man, two-man, three-man team, I would probably be more interested in going for a white label solution. Then I would focus my budget and my efforts on, sales and marketing. If I had a solid budget of, going into 7 digits and a larger team, a good legal team, good lawyers behind me, then you can think about and time as well. Then I would think about either trying to obtain a license, EMI, PI, or acquiring a license, which is also an option. In Lithuania, it actually became a more popular option than getting a license.
What was the second one? So getting license, and the second one was what?
Second one is acquiring a license. So acquiring a company that is usually,
okay, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Okay. So last year, actually, I checked the statistics in Lithuania, 2024. I think only 4 EMI licenses were issued, EMI or PI, and 11 licenses were acquired.
Interesting. Nice.
It seems like numbers suggest that acquiring a license company is, maybe more attractive to some players.
Yeah, makes sense. That's a new thing. I didn't know about it. So that's cool. So licensing, that's really interesting. I think that covers it well. But if we go back a little bit to right, what problem should I solve? So then I guess I will discuss. Okay, what license I will need, for example, if I want to do credits, if I want to do cards, if I want to do transfer, remittance, or whatever. But how would you recommend somebody to identify this pain point, or maybe how to validate this pain point, if that's actually a reasonable thing to do?
Yeah, if a founder's team is thinking like, I want to enter a bank business, but I have no idea what I want to do, maybe they should reconsider it, because it has to come, from their expertise, from their know-how, because the business model is extremely different. So even in lending, you don't often need a banking license to do lending. There are peer-to-peer crowdfunding licenses. You can issue loans without a banking license. So
Interesting. Okay, so you actually should have some fintech background, at least, so to understand the space.
Yeah, like if mm, like the big differentiator I see is, the big differentiator is payments versus lending. So this you definitely have to know what you want to do.
Uh-huh.
EMIs, PIs, you do payments, and banks they mostly focus on lending. So that's number one thing. Number two thing is who are going to be your clients. So businesses as a neobank should also consider like, are your clients going to be individuals or are they going to be businesses or both? It can be both. Because again, like the business model is very, very different. If you're working with individuals, you will need a lot of marketing material. Individuals are more difficult to monetize. You will need to burn a lot of cash in the first 5-10 years even to get some traction. And if you're working with businesses, so then it is easier to get the business going, because you only need like a handful of clients, maybe issue credits to them. So yeah, that's another very important factor.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's actually a good point you touched upon is, okay, the monetization, how to make money eventually. So right now I know what is my business or target audience that I want to focus on. I know that I need to get a license, then I need to get a money right from, or actually let's go a little bit back. So I know who I'm targeting, I know what I want to do, I know what license I need to get. But then what infrastructure, you touched upon it. So I can use banking as a service. I can use BankingLab's solution, or I can build my own, probably ledger, core banking systems, etc. Right? But what would you recommend me, or how to choose?
Yeah, so it's a tough one. Usually companies, take a solution that's already working, core bank solution that's already in place, because building one in-house, it's an extremely complicated product, and extremely complicated product to build and very, very difficult to maintain.
Hmm.
For example, internally, we have a team of 50-60 people, doing the maintenance of the system. So if you want to invest the effort and money in building it yourself and maintaining it, it can be done, but keep in mind that you will need, to have a big tech team, a team of analysts, a team of product managers to run it. So essentially running a small business, small team within your
Uh-huh.
business.
Uh-huh.
So if you wanna do it, could be done. But also we can take the solution that's already working and that's already in the market. It can be tailored to your needs. Of course, like not one solution is going to be perfect for everything. So you will need to compare what's on the market, and then maybe order some custom developments from that provider. Yeah, if I had to pick it and I had the budget, let's step aside. Of course, I'm subjective right now, but it's, to me, it would be a no-brainer. I would take the path of least effort and least future problems, which is giving it to the professionals and not having a second headache to run on my own. So I would definitely, compare the core banking providers that would be fitting my need. Yeah. So.
And
Mhm.
why should I? So now it remains two options, right? Why should I use the basically end-to-end solution of banking labs
Mhm.
instead of going banking as a service and use Bankera, for example?
No, you can. You can, just that the model is different. Like if you want to do banking as a service, so you're usually a smaller team that only does sales. But if you want to grow your business organically, have your own system built, when you have your license, so you can compose the picture of your business as you want. So you can add cards from whatever, Visa, MasterCard. You can have acquiring. You can choose your internet banking. You can choose your card processing. Basically, you do the puzzle yourself. Whereas if you take the white label, you're quite limited, or very limited to what is being offered by the provider. So yeah, we always get back, to the same pillar that we discussed, like what's your idea? So yeah, so if you just want to do simple payments, simple cards, you have a good network of potential clients, yeah, maybe a white label BaaS is a good solution. But if you want to build a business that will have legacy and that will be still relevant after 5-10 years and that could be sold, then you will have to go the licensing way.
Okay, makes sense. Good. And then now, so I will because I want to sell and exit my business for hundreds of millions of dollars, right? I will use I will use some core banking provider, but I will get my EMI license. That's interesting that I can acquire the EMI license by buying a company, and then how can I make money from the clients?
If you have an EMI license, right?
Let's consider this one out.
It's difficult. It's a very difficult model, to be honest, because EMIs, they typically monetize clients in two ways. The usual, like smaller EMIs. Let's not look at the big giants like Monzo, Revolut, and so on. But the smaller EMIs, how they monetize clients, usually falls in two different categories, from what I can see. So very simple. Like the first category is working with business clients, and those business clients, they can be higher risk clients, so clients essentially requiring more compliance attitude. So these clients are not typically working with banks, because for banks it's a lot of hassle to work with them. They require a lot of attention, and banks can make money through lending instead of having to go through this pain of doing these compliance checks of payments of those business clients. Yeah, so that's option number one. And number two way how EMIs can and make money is through another option. We know the models of, for example, Wise, TransferGo. So they do cross-border payments. So they make currency conversions, and they have a lot of different currencies to offer to businesses that want to make payouts, for example, to different parts of the world, in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, in the US, UK, but also want to receive pay-ins from there. So if your business is doing cross-border transactions and need to exchange currencies, so EMIs can be a good option, because with a standard bank, if you check, I don't know, you open an account with Lloyd's, HSBC, Swedbank, SEB. If you check the standard rates that are currency conversion rates that are given to you, they're high. They're really, really high. So EMIs that are focusing on FX and cross-border transactions, they usually offer much better FX rates. Yeah, so two areas that I see. First is like high-risk business clients. The second one is servicing businesses that do cross-border transactions. With individuals, I don't see many big success stories. It's very difficult monetizing them. There were many efforts to do that. Cards, payments, but it's quite difficult to do that. Yeah, and so these are the traditional like credit transfers, and there are other models like card acquiring, for example. A lot of EMIs have uh, principal acquiring licenses from Visa or Mastercard. These are also quite profitable products to have in your offering. Yeah, so
Yeah.
a lot of different things that can be done, but one thing that unifies them is it's easier to monetize working with businesses than with
Yeah.
individuals.
Interesting. We never discussed it in previous interviews. That actually everybody wants to be Coca-Cola, Nike, selling to people, big brands that everybody loves. But yeah, you want to sell to rich people, right? Those who have money, and that's not a majority of people, I would say. Or businesses have usually money, right, rather than individual that don't have as much money. I'm thinking right now. So let's say I'm using BankingLab's right solution. I decided to go to get my own license. Use your solution because it's going to be fast, right? You will build the whole. You've got the core banking. You've got the connections to currency cloud, so I can do the FX, for example. With Visa, I have the cards, right? So I'm basically ready to go. Then you've got a mobile app, right? The thing is, a lot of people mention that there is a benefit, or actually, interview with the Zazu, that was pretty clear that front end is something that person should own, right, and make it beautiful. But in your case, I don't know how flexible you are doing the customization. Probably not so much, but why is it actually benefit, right? Having this one solution, having everything in all in one, basically, instead of having multiple things, and manage. Well, basically, this is something maybe what you said, right? I would have to take care of core banking. I would have to take care of mobile app or cards, etc. Or what is the basically benefit of being all in one?
Yeah, so there are, of course, there are pluses and there are minuses. If you have everything, from different providers, so you can cherry pick the ones that you maybe like the most, but then you have a hassle of integrating them all. And if something goes wrong, you have a big ping pong between different providers, like who's to blame, who was down, or whose fault it was. Yeah, so it can be done, but with some risks. And with one provider, such as ourselves, we offer everything, pretty much everything from in-house. We can also integrate other providers, but we also have a lot of products in-house. So it's a one-window solution. So if something goes wrong, you always know like who to contact, where to seek answers and solutions, because it's all on our hands, and all the departments are in-house, from AML to payments, card processing, and whatever API, IB. So we will resolve it much faster internally, as opposed to when it's all in different pieces. So it depends. For smaller teams, for small to medium fintechs, maybe not a bad solution is to have an off-the-shelf solution, from one hand. If you're a large EMI and, with your own custom needs, so yeah, maybe it also makes sense, to look for providers that are fitting your particular profile and that can build, then you can construct the puzzle from those providers. Yeah, like again, like we're also always getting back to what you want.
The use case.
Yeah,
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. No, that's the thing, right? Because a lot of the founders were saying, actually, we had a case of Zazu wanted to own the front ends, and they didn't care about the back ends and all that stuff. Or they didn't want to build it, right? They did not that they didn't care. They want to have the most beautiful user experience. On
yeah,
the other hand, then there was a ribbon that was using banking as a service, which failed twice, in their case. So eventually they had to, after 2 years of building it, they had to go and basically get their own license and basically do it with a provider like BankingLab, right? And yeah, they building it themselves was too big hassle. So they probably there is this target audience of companies who need it because they want to do serious business. The guy was working 12 years in bank, right, in India, and then he was like, okay, let's I know this niche because I understand people going from India to UK and Europe, so these people is my target audience, and I know how to serve them because he was Indian as well. Okay. Okay, so no, I see the benefits as well of having, for example, time to market, right? Is way faster than building it yourself or integrating to multiple providers, right?
Indeed, yeah. Time to market, of course. Building it yourself. First, you have to build it, and you have to test it. Once you build it, it will be slightly obsolete already because it
Yes.
took a long time to do it. So it's a continuous process. Yeah.
Makes sense. And if the go-to market, I don't know if this is a specialty or something that it's more about like this marketing, saying, I want to get first 10,000 customers or first 100,000 customers. How would you do it? Let's discuss it because now we know we want to do B2B because that makes money. We want to use BankingLab because it's super fast, right? And I want to focus on something on acquiring new customers, right? How would you do it?
If we had 10,000 customers, yeah.
To get the first 10,000, actually.
Yeah, you would see me with golden teeth, gold chain. Yeah, but
So wait a second. That means I thought that I need millions of customers.
okay, so let's
Golden teeth. Okay.
yeah, let's take a step back. So EMIs that work. Are you talking about BankingLab? How to get customers?
No, I'm talking about I'm using you. I have my own neobank and I'm using BankingLab
Yeah.
because it's easy right now and I have the app, everything ready, everything is ready to go. And now I need to plug the plug and get the first customers, right?
Oh, it's your headache, not mine. Sorry.
Yeah, God, it's something that I need to solve. Makes sense, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting because we also went through scaling up because we understand that going with a solution like yours is the BankingLab solution is that it gives you really fast time to market, scalability into certain point. Then after certain point, there will be some bottlenecks as well. But and we are talking about size of Moniz, Monzo, or Revolut, right? But then you definitely have the bigger team, bigger size, a lot of money, etc. Okay, makes sense. We went through the whole thing, actually pretty fast, so that's nice. Anything that you would like to go back and maybe dig deeper a little bit more into?
No, you can grill me on whatever you want to. If you see something, if you see something we're going into, let's get into. I mean, it's a very difficult business to be in general. You need first of all a lot of capital. Then you're always under very strict watch from the regulator. You are in control of very sensitive both data and actually access to real funds. So it's a lot on the table. So it is a tough business to be in. Yeah.
What is the upside on the other hand?
The upside, on the other hand, is
Golden teeth.
golden teeth is it is the upside. Like if it works well, it's a good business. So
Yeah.
you see, like banks are an evergreen business. If
Yeah.
you're lending, it's a business that's gonna. The first banks were created, I don't know, like many hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
So it is a good business. And in terms of payments, like if you're a founder, your valuations can grow very fast. So if a new license to get, all things considered, may cost, I don't know, 1 million euros, 2 million euros. So the business later can be sold at, multiples of that. So as an investment, if it goes well, it is a license is a big asset to have. So it's not going to depreciate in value very much.
Interesting. Yeah, and then eventually, as you said, companies are acquiring other companies only because of the license.
Yeah.
Right. That's interesting.
And also, like companies that expanding, from other regions to other regions. Say you're an American company, Robinhood, yeah, and you want to expand
Mm.
to Europe, so you need to get a license here, or I don't know, Airwallex, again, like you're based in Asia, but you want to expand in Europe, so you can buy a license here. You can try to obtain a license here. Yeah,
Mm.
but a license is one of the most valuable assets, if not the most valuable asset in this business. And that's why the harshest fine when the regulator does your check, does your audit, is losing a license. If you have no license, that's it, you're gone. So
Got it. Got it. So at the end of the day, banking as a service is a cool thing, but if you think it seriously, licenses are the way to go.
yeah, bank as a service is a business for cash flow. Having a license is a business for, it's an asset in itself. So you
Mm.
build a business, the business can be sold at much higher multiples than banking as a service.
Yeah, makes sense because on one hand you have only basically the client base, you've got the users, but the real money are made with the license. Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Simon, one more thing to add, like starting as banking as a service doesn't mean you're always going to be there. You're always going to be a white label. Once you get bigger, many companies, like, they get their own licenses.
Uh-huh.
Um, Maybe sometimes they start with some easier ones, Canadian MSB, but eventually, if you grow big enough, then you become a licensed entity. You want to get one for flexibility, for lesser reliance on partners, basically being in control yourself of your business.
Makes sense. Makes sense. How much do you think this whole party will cost me?
This whole party,
Yes.
what party?
Let's say that I want to get into the stage. First stage is I want to launch, right? I want to launch. I want to get first 5,000 users, B2C, let's say, and I have everything ready. I have BankingLab solution. I've got mobile app. I just want to do it really, really fast, right? So, how much would it cost me from basically assembling the company, doing the legal stuff, getting the email license, to getting first customers?
Loads,
Are we
loads.
talking hundreds of thousands or millions?
We're talking millions. So um, the first step, initial step, is a license. So okay, there are different capital requirements. Capital is basically how much cash you had to put in the company. Uh, Payment institutions, okay, they're much smaller. It can be like up to 125,000, but EMI is 350,000, and banks depend. Like smaller specialized banks, it's 1 million, but normal bigger banks is 5 million. So already that reaches the
Yeah.
higher mark. And to get a license, like you need a team working on that license for 12 months, for 24 months. So hiring that team, then you need to draft all the policies. It's going to be 7 digits for EMI, and definitely for banks. With PI, payment institution, I think you can squeeze in 6 digits. So it's possible. I've seen cases where companies fit in, below 7 digits, but with PIs. Core banking solution, again, depends on like what core banking solution you're choosing, but give or take, like it usually falls into several pieces. Setting the system up. So that's going to be, it can start from 5 digits, and usually it's like within the 6 digits range.
Yeah.
The monthly fee will be lower 5 digits, but it's not a cheap thing, because it requires a lot of time and effort to both develop it and maintain it. So when you add up the costs, the running costs, personnel, core banking, your other costs, like office, so you do add up to quite a significant burn rate. So either you have to have deep pockets, or good paying clients to monetize, in order not to not to burn money for a long time.
Yeah. No, but that was really, really helpful, honestly. So now I know that I don't care about B2C that much. I should care about B2B. I need to make sure about what is the problem I'm solving to them. Honestly, I think I understand that the banking as a service is a nice way to go, but if I want to make a serious money, is EMI license, and I should outsource definitely the core banking and other things to others, because I should focus on business, getting the customers, right? So maybe I should be the best marketeer, actually, not just and have the tech of somebody else, and I should prepare a lot of bucks, to be ready to spend. But at the end of the day, there's expected a return on investment. That's what you said. Hopefully, we will be living with the chains around our necks. Golden chains, right? And live on the yacht.